What's going on, coach? Why do I keep getting hurt? Well, injury occurs when load exceeds capacity. And so when your tissue has reached its limits and you've overloaded your system, then eventually that tissue is going to break down. That's very straightforward, but that capacity that we're referring to and that load we're referring to could be a variety of different things. It doesn't have to be specifically strength. So some things we could be referring to, range of motion, right? How far can I stretch? Maybe I stretched too far in that activity or that exercise, and that was further than what my joints or what my tissue had range for, my soft tissue, my fascia, my muscles, right? And that body was not used to that range, and so I overstretched, and that created a strain, or that created a sprain. Another thing would be just pure load, right? So what is my strength? Or what kind of tension can my body create? Did I exceed that capacity? Was the load too heavy for me? Other things, maybe I'm not fast enough. I don't have a firing speed, or I haven't been able to click into the rest of my body quick enough, and so the speed of what was going on, that exceeded my capacity. We can talk about the mental side, right? I've encountered a new scenario, and that put me into a different position than what I was used to, and that uncomfortability, that stretched me further than what I was supposed to go, or that gave me a heavier load because I wasn't aware of or wasn't integrated into that position before. And then of course endurance. So from a fatigue standpoint, all my tissue is going to wind down as well, right? So I've taken a long time, I've been working really hard. Late in the game, that's when injuries start to occur. Or late in my run, that's when I start to notice I'm fatiguing out because I don't have endurance. So these kind of categories is what we're trying to evaluate with movement code so that we have less injury. And one of the great ways to help connect all of this stuff is to work on your fascia, to train your fascia. Now the value of the fascial training that we're doing at Movement Code is we work to expand your capacity by creating better connectivity from the ground up, so the whole system has a better ability to absorb more load. So every day in my practice, I'll see somebody come in with, let's say they came in with knee pain, and what we'll see is they're asking, okay, how can I create better strength here? How can I create better range of motion here? We need to be able to solve this issue at the knee. And we'll find that in assessment, they actually have an issue at the ankle, where their ankle range is not adequate. They don't balance well on that side. And so the knee absorbs the force because the ankle is not able to accommodate. The foot's not able to accommodate. So that load has to go somewhere. It goes to the knee. Or we'll see their hip range of motion on that same side is not good. And so same idea, I'm not able to rotate through my knee, so when I go out and play, I'm not able to create a solution there, so I put that load into the knee. So if we were to focus just on the knee and say, I'm going to do my strengthening here, I'm going to build up my quads, I'll do my knees over toes work, that's all fine and fantastic. We're going to make sure that we do those things, that's critically important. But if I forget what's going on at the ankle, I don't restore that balance there, I don't create better action there into the arch, then that load, that tension, when I go out and play my sport, that'll still be a challenge. That pain might come back. And so when we're talking about fascial training, we're looking at the entire system. How does everything here connect? We come from a culture, a training culture, where exercise oftentimes means you're doing some bodybuilding type lifting. And by that I mean you go to the gym and you lift, you categorize things as, well, this is a bicep exercise. I'm going to do my calves today, so I'm going to do some calf exercises. I'm going to do some quad exercises. And that's our focus, is we're thinking, what are these isolationary muscles? How can I build strength around those? And that's fine for if our focus is bodybuilding, but oftentimes, like, we're expecting us to do something that our body's not ready for as soon as we go out of the sport. If all I've done is this type of action or this type of action, when I'm asking myself to move around in that space, that's a totally different task. And so with Movement Code, the goal is to say, let's build strength along each point in the chain, but let's also look at the way that we move collectively throughout space. And that's the value of the fascial training. We're not just taking one point in time, we're not isolating one joint or isolating one segment or one muscle, but we're saying, let's build everything together, not just a checklist, but everything together in the whole system. How can I unlock my body to create a better capacity and able to absorb more load? So how does Movement Code actually train the fascia? Let's say we have a small rubber band. If I pull that band apart, I might create a quick snap because I have a lot of tension in a small space. But if I go beyond the capacity of that band might break or create an injury because I've gone beyond the capacity. If I have a big rubber band and I pull that apart, that tension might not be enough to create that same powerful snap. And so what we're seeing here is that we've lost the balance between mobility and tension. We have one more than the other. What we're doing with movement code is we're working mobility and tension at the same time. We're showing you how to create length in your system, how to adapt to find the full range of motion that you can reach in your joints, and then we're working to create tension. Not just at the end, not just isolating small movements along the way, but also how can you create it through the entire movement. And that is where we get a fascial system that is adaptable and responsive, a capacity that has expanded so that your injury risk will reduce.